We are back. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Here we are, another month.
Somehow we did it.
Yay. God, this has been miserable. Flipping storms and all sorts, and just, those sort of days you just don't want to face the world. You're like, nah, covers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. I feel you, man. It's been so fucking cold here that I feel like, pretty much every morning, because I'm starting to get arthritis in my hands, that I feel like somebody smashed my hands with a hammer in the morning. That fucking sucks.
Oh,
I
God.
hate the cold.
I was told that last year during physio that I might be starting to get arthritis, and I'm like, what? You know what? I'm really becoming old and decrepit, and I'm not quite ready for that yet.
Yeah, it's a rough thing that you have to come to terms with.
I can live with not being young and spry and running and stuff and all that kind of nonsense, but actually breaking down that I can't function, I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, it's a motherfucker.
I'd rather just die. Honestly, I'd rather just have a heart attack or something, just like both done, than spend decades, just becoming gnarly and having to get my arse wiped for me.
Yeah, that's about where I draw the line.
Yeah, I think I'll be booking one of them pods if it comes down to it, because couldn't face that.
Yeah, that's no thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice joyous start. Right. I found this one. It's interesting, but the wording of the articles a bit. I don't know what actually they're cancelling. So Sony have decided that they're not producing recordable Blu-ray discs, but in the article they're saying they're stopping Blu-ray production. I really don't know what they're trying to say here.
Yeah, because it was titled as recordable, and then the other things that it's canceling, they're all recordable things.
Yeah, do people still use mini discs? I thought those things died. They were.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the PSP ones were fucking dope. Like that shit was, as far as I'm concerned, it was like Sega Genesis, where it was ahead of its time, and then it just failed because nobody wanted it. But yeah, it's like cassettes, specifically the DV cassettes. Yeah, who the fuck uses those? Everything's digital now.
Yeah, here's the thing about Sony. Like 2000s, they were the most overpriced. Like they come up with these things, like the mini disc, for example, and it really was an "I'm better than you" sort of device. The only reason for having it is to go, look how much I can afford. You know what I mean? That was it. God, I've never even thought of using a recordable Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's that. I can barely figure out how to burn a DVD, much less a Blu-ray.
I've done them back in the day, but the problem is you just end up with like wallets for the shite. It's like, even back to the VHS days, like my mother had a terrible thing for recording everything, and just put more and more boxes of friggin' VHS black ones. Never watched them. Oh, want to watch this movie or want to watch that? You never watch them return, and then you could always watch a rerun, or they end up working better just to get the, if you really wanted something, just get the DVD when they come out. I don't know. Yeah. I'm confused at what they're actually trying to. I know they're trying to do like it's coming to an end, but I don't think so.
No, I mean, it's kind of rough because it's one of those things where there's always been like boutique companies that keep media alive, like different forms of media, I guess I should say. It's like if they stop, like, are they going to sell off their equipment and shit? I don't know. That'd be a shame if it was like over.
I don't think so, because I think the market's picking up for physical media, especially collectibles. People are getting burnt out with streaming. Like, yeah, it's handy for like the mass, the sort of soap opera watching drama, that's okay for that lot, but you tend to find, especially horror fans in it, will want something physical. Right. We want something to commemorate. the release, like Nosferatu. I'm jumping on that as soon as it comes out.
Oh yeah, man.
That's something that you want to have as a physical thing on your. Even if you watch it once and watch the rest in streaming, so you don't wreck it. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that I want that.
Well, shit, that's the beauty of Blu-rays. Like they don't scratch easily.
Yeah, but you know the mentality.
It's a shame.
I'm talking about. Like you might have a device once or twice, but it's the whole idea of owning the thing and collecting it and having it on your shelf.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to go away. That's like saying books are gone, but
yeah,
the market for books, people always buy them because it's, if anything else, is something nice to have on the shelf. Looking at the covers and that, and same reason people buy ornaments, figurines, paintings, or pictures and stuff for their walls. I sort of think there's that element to it.
Yeah.
But Sony always, I don't know, I've had a strange relationship with Sony. I think they've always tried to play to a certain market, like the affluent, the sort of hipster crowd. And that's always fickle as hell anyway. And they sort of put all their eggs in that basket with their products. The only one that was really commercial was the Sony Walkman back in the day. But apart from that, everything else is sort of, like I said, boutique, just meant to be that I'm better than you. I think they're running, it's always Sony seems to run into these problems every so often because they overstretch and they never make it back. But what else? A streaming service has become the most preferred way to watch movies and TV shows. Sales of physical media have declined rapidly, resulting in the move from Sony. Well, it's not the home market anymore. The sort of DVD, Blu-ray home market that used to be. We'll know that, but I don't think it's gone completely. Like there's always shelves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that.
And then this is where it gets even more muddied. So they use them for PlayStation, the Blu-rays, the recordable Blu-rays, so they actually put their games on. And there's been a rejection, I think, of the online game because of shenanigans with the game companies. You don't actually own the game that you buy, the digital version, and they can cut off your account and do all sorts of weird stuff. So I think people prefer a physical game.
I mean, shit, there's consoles now that don't even have disc drives.
Yeah, but people are...
I don't know about
rejecting that.
I mean, hell, I know people that have them. Like, personally, I don't understand because it's like that's what I use for my DVD player. But yeah, it's really weird.
So I don't know, a bit of a... And then the question, 4K Blu-rays, a relatively new format. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it'll ever end. Yeah, it won't be as prevalent as it used to be. But I don't think it's as drastic as the article's trying to make out. It's a bit clickbaity. And they're talking about like the manufacturing, but maybe they're just going to sell it off as a franchise or something or outsource it. But is that going to cost them more in the long run?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, there you go. There's a... Like I said, I just thought it was interesting because I still like physical media. I'm more into collector sets than just buying the standard, if that makes sense. I like something that's a bit of a box set. It's one movie. Give me a wee booklet or something. That'll keep me happy.
Right.
I think there's definitely a market for that, like anything. Because people still buy Funko Pops and keep them in the box. You know, you can put them in shelves as if it's a storefront.
Right.
So if there's a market for that sort of stuff, then there's definitely a market for something that you can actually physically use. And plus, I think people are appreciating as well the special features. I think there's a reawakening of the appreciation for that.
Well, and of course it sucks too because it's like major releases. Most of them don't even have them because studios won't pay for them anymore.
Yeah, I think that I know I've talked about this quite a bit, but they've really messed up trying to incorporate the streaming market into the zeitgeist, into the ecosystem. They really messed up. They all jumped at a bandwagon and they cut off their own legs with the other revenue streams. And now they're all in a bit of a mess because a lot of these companies are in trouble. They're able to hide it because they're so big, but a lot of them are going to crash and burn because they just cut off their own legs. They jumped straight to streaming. They even cut out the cinema release, and all the whole chain of income for the one product has disappeared, and they're making losses left, right, and center on movies. No way to recruit. Because if you take away this, you're not going to get the cult classics anymore. So something might not have landed when it first arrived in the cinema, but a year, 2 years later, it gets a reawakening through Blu-ray sales, physical media, and sure enough, 10th anniversary, 20th anniversary, all of a sudden you have something that's making you money that you've already put into. Is that possibly the short-sightedness of companies that, you know, if they don't make it back in like the first 2 weeks, that's it, it's a loss, write it off. And they're not thinking of like having just multiple income streams. I don't get the mentality.
Yeah.
Oh well. That was a thing.
Yep.
Yep. As you can tell, you're really excited about
Well, let's see. It is saying like at the end that there's like the plants in Mexico and Germany are still doing it, and you know it's a separate entity. So even if they stop being made here, at least they'll be made somewhere else.
So they're just closing down the division. It might just be labor costs. Yeah, a bit of a non-article, but like I said, I just thought it was worth talking about. Hey Shay, how are you, Matt?
Let's see if I can get this link to actually work.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate physical media, and I've actually more so with streaming because they'll stick stuff on, they'll take it off, and they'll not even give you a warning. And even if you buy something and they mess about with your subscription, it's gone.
Yeah, that's the shit. Like I don't like buying shit digitally because you're not buying shit, you're just renting it for who knows how long. Like the second that title's pulled from the service, it's like it never existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there are people waking up to that and go back, but it's the same as vinyl. Do you remember they all said vinyl was dead?
Yeah.
Years and years ago, now it's back bigger than ever. In fact, it's actually become pretentious. But still, the once again, back to the collector's market, you'll get a special edition of something, you know, and it's a nice piece to have, even if you never play it.
I don't understand that shit.
Yeah,
it's like buying music to never play the music.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's, you know, even if somebody, that's their motivation, it still works. And it funds people that do. Yeah, and it's, I don't know, pretentious people are useful, I think. Because they want to spend their money to say I'm better than you for a year or two ahead of the main thing. Well, that's fine. They fund the research, they fund the setting up the infrastructure, and then us normal people can just go ahead and enjoy ourselves. Yep. Thanks, pretentious person, while I move on to something else. Anyway, we have some Robert Eggers news. He's pretty changed himself, hasn't he?
What do you mean?
That's not the Robert Eggers I remember from his early interviews, like from The Witch and stuff. He's kind of lost his geeky look, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, I mean, movies will drain you, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Lost a bit of weight as well. Fair play to him. He's not like super skinny, but he lost a bit of weight in that. But yeah, his next thing down the line is going to be a 13th century werewolf movie. I saw a thing, it's not in this article, but I saw another one that he does not want to make modern movies set in modern era.
I'm cool with that.
The idea, he says, the idea of like having a phone or a car in a movie is just complete anathema to him. That's not what he wants to do. He wants to focus in bygone eras.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm totally cool with that. I mean, he's got a pretty good track record of doing that.
Yeah, and that's cool. He's got his thing. He knows what he wants to do, and he's not shitting stuff out every year just for the sake of it. And he's not one of these people that's appearing as producer on everything. You know, just basically wearing himself thin. And it's obviously working for him. You know, he's doing quite well, and every time he does something, it gets noticed. So he seems to have the right attitude for a filmmaker. You know the ones. Well, actually, let's use a writer, George R. R. Martin. He is doing everything, but actually, what he's meant to do, and he's just jumping on every bandwagon going. I think there's another thing coming out, but you know, he stuck his name onto it and got involved in, and he's just completely lost any credibility with even his own fan base. Like people that aren't his fans don't care about him. He's just irrelevant now. Just somebody grasping the be in the spotlight, and he's done damage to his own work. Where Eggers, he seems to be thoughtful about the projects he takes. And he wants it to be, you know, he wants that level of detail. He wants to be able to do it his own way, or else he's not going to do it. And I think he's somebody who he does a lot of the groundwork first before even announcing a project. So he'll have spent a year at least thinking this through and making sure that he's got the right contract in place, even that he's not going to have a studio jumping over him. Just wish more filmmakers were as brave as him. You know, had a spine.
I just wish more filmmakers were given the chance to do something like this.
No, but he's made his own way. Like, has he been gifted anything? He's just been very clear in his vision, and he's obviously been able to communicate it. That the studios have went along with him and believed him. I don't think it's a chance thing. It's a lot of them are just they want to be famous for the sake of it. They want to be part of the Hollywood bubble, and they'll do whatever they're just go along with whatever. They're not really interested in the sort of creative output. Like when we reviewed The Witch, and we talked about, you know, the actual work that the crew did, and he was part of it. You know, everybody was hands-on. There weren't everybody, I'm in my trailer, call me when I'm ready for a scene. Everyone was like out sweeping roads and doing whatever needed for the set, cast included. That's not a given a chance. That's somebody who has a work ethic. And if you bring that work ethic and you can communicate that, you get the right people on board. And look at the people who are coming back to him now. Returning actors. So he wasn't a horrible director. You know, you hear of people treated like shit on set and they hate the director and stuff and they don't want to ever work with him again. But he has the opposite sort of vibe about him that people who have worked with him before want to go back to him because they enjoy the process. Yeah, it's bloody hard work apparently, but they enjoy it because they feel like they're making something. So I don't think it's just being given a chance. I think you need that a sort of spark about you, and people like him are rare. I mean, if you've seen Nosferatu on the big screen recently, chances are you're still under the thrall of Robert Eggers' glorious gothic vision, which took a cinematic vampire classic and gave it a full-blooded retelling, perfectly suited to the man behind The Witch and the Lighthouse. It seems Eggers is still in monster mode because his next project sees him moving from vampires to werewolves in the original film titled Werewolf I haven't seen the Wolfman yet either. I hear it's absolutely diabolical.
Dude, it's fucking great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so shit then. Right.
Well, I mean, you probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
so if you're like saying it's great, it must be shit.
No. It was a legit, like, fantastic film. It was a great retelling of the mythology of werewolves. Yeah, it was honestly probably one of my favorite werewolf movies.
All right. Well, like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I have no opinion. I haven't even seen the trailer because I don't want to. Because I'm going to watch it. I want to go watch the movie and see. But I don't know. I'm just hearing a lot of clapback about it.
Well, that's because people don't like to be happy. People want to bitch about stuff instead of try to enjoy things.
Right. Did you enjoy Werewolves? That glorious action flick that was.
I never saw it.
Did you not?
No.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that new one with
what's his generic action?
Frank Grillo. Yeah. No, I that's something that I would watch if it was like streaming somewhere and I had literally nothing else to do, but it looked too stupid to go see in theaters.
Yeah, legit was. Hey Chris, as well. I don't know, man. I'm not really.
I mean, so far I'm looking forward to The Monkey, the Stephen King adaptation. That looks fucking killer.
I haven't seen that. This won't be out until 2026. Anyway, I think it's another. Yeah, because right about Christmas time, that was the traditional time for telling scary stories anyway. I like the fact that's starting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Christmas has been nudging into Halloween and taking over, but guess what? we're going to start pushing back. Telling scary stories during your time. Stuffies. If that's a game you want to play.
I mean, it works great for me because Christmas tradition is always go see a movie and then go to the Chinese buffet up the street. So just keep giving me horror movies for Christmas.
Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, that's his next one. He's going to do Werewolf. Thing is, Nosferatu was originally a demonic. People were complaining, the edgelords, about Nosferatu because it wasn't the same as the 1970s one.
The 1970s one was not even remotely anything tied to like the original story. So
yeah,
anybody wants to bitch about that, they're fucking.
It was a traditional vampire story where Nosferatu is more of a demonic tale anyway. He was more of a demonic entity that was made. And I think it was a demon was Belial that he'd made the pact with. That's how he became what he was. It's not your traditional like vampire, what we would expect, blood sucking, turning others and stuff. It's different, and that's one thing I really loved about Eggers. He went back into that, and he actually brought the sort of rituals to play, and that aspect of evoking something. But apparently, because it was too complicated, some people didn't like it. And I imagine if he's going to do werewolf, he's going to do exactly the same. He'll really go into the lore, and he'll bring that back to the supernatural. Do you know I've had this problem with the virus? You know, it's a contagion, and everything's just become homogenized between werewolf, vampire, zombie. It's all a virus, and they've almost stripped away the supernatural aspect. So I'm happy that they're bringing the supernatural aspect back to the sort of spooky tales.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's that. Fun times, eh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we shall, I suppose we'll jump in the vault then, eh?
Hell yeah. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm cool. This
is a fucking great one.
Will we get
And
you waking up
it's funny that it was Vault because it's actually we started watching.
2001?
Well, we were watching this because it was a remake originally.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, you sent me a remake list like, "Hey, go through this."
I did. Oh, is this a remake of the stage show? Is that where you were going
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what it is. So
Oh.
that site that you sent me to look it up,
Yeah.
that had this down. And I'm like, wait,
I
this
didn't
was a
see that.
remake, and that's when I found out that it was a remake of a
Oh shit! I clicked
Korean
the wrong
stage
button.
play. What's that?
I clicked the wrong button. I was wondering. I thought you just suggested it randomly because I.
No, nope. I went through that list. I saw that. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. So yeah.
So we're looking at
Takashi
the
Miike.
happiness of the Katakuris. The Katakuri family has only opened their guest house. Regrettably, their guest commits suicide, and so as to prevent trouble, they decide to bury him.
As one does.
As you do, yep. Matters become more complicated when their super restless guest dies while having sex with his girlfriend, and the grave behind their home starts to fill up with more and more bodies.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And this movie, it starts off just, it tells you exactly what it's going to be from the beginning. It's an opening shot of a lady eating soup. She stabs like a cherub type thing, and then it turns into a claymation fight scene where her uvula gets stolen. So it's great.
I love the claymation and stop animation motion sort of dotted through this. It's so random, but it works.
Oh yeah.
What I wasn't prepared for were the musical numbers.
Oh yeah, that's
I was
the other
not
thing.
prepared for those. And honestly, I'm like, what?
Well, the best part too is that it doesn't ease into it at all. It just like full blown over the top dancing and all that shit right out of the gate. It's just like, what the fuck did I want? Like turn on?
It's almost like a parody of Bollywood or something. I feel like they're playing about, like you can see them making fun of the sound of music and like traditional musicals and Bollywood and the claymation. This is, it's like something Phil Tippett will come out with. You know, it's like there's work has went into it. It's not just thrown on there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
God, there's one we're covering, Chris and I are covering tomorrow, and honestly, they did not give a shit, and just screams at you that they didn't care.
That sucks.
So that's going to be a fun one. But yeah, we've got this sort of dysfunctional family, 3-generation family. You know, old school. Everyone lives in the same place, or they're all like in the same in each other's pockets, so to speak. From grandpa right down to the baby. You've got the son who's a bit of a delinquent. You've got the daughter who's divorced, who's just a mess. The young one. The father was sacked from his job. He had this dream of like doing something for himself, which I completely get. You know,
it's like if I could buy a fucking place like that, I'd do it in a heartbeat too.
And he just buys this place. It's just off the beaten track, but they're building a new road to promise. The salesperson, the real estate agent said. And even when they're heading up, they come across a spiritless training exercise trip of an absolute bunch of melts.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay, right. This is what's happening.
Well, it's like they set up the fact that it's cursed land, so it's like it's dumb, but they did serve a purpose. And I just love it's nothing. She's scared of the dark as an excuse for them to freak out.
Yeah, it's sort of like how to do a haunted house without actually being a haunted house sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they don't uncover an entity or anything, or get the idea that something's working against them. It's just a a set of circumstances that are just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more their reaction than anything else that makes this brilliant. Ah, God. And then we get the first dinner scene of, yeah, save some tofu for your father.
Oh, I love tofu, man.
It's
When it's done right, it's killer.
It's evil.
You just haven't had it
It's
done
just,
right.
Yeah, the best way is just straight in the bin. Just don't pass go. Bypass digestive tract.
Yeah, I will definitely have to agree to disagree. I love me some tofu.
We agree on everything. What are you on about? It's fact, when I used to go to the Asian supermarket, I was always in the same aisle next to the chicken feet. And they always had it like in the slide, but honestly, I thought it was looking at me. It's not little tubs and the whatever the preservative they have in it, and I always think it was moving about in there. Like, oh, okay. Don't know. And I hate that sort of vegan stuff. Like people try to force on you. Comes in a packet. It's like cardboard. Oh, this is great. Eat this instead. No. But anyway, yeah, we're just getting this whole idea. They're trying to make a go at this. Fathers push them all into it. Nobody's playing ball. Everyone's like rebelling. But there's a thing as well. They all sit down at the back to the scene. They all sit down at the table together. You know, that's something that needs to be brought back. This idea of families all just taking their plates and disappearing and nobody sitting down together. That's why there's loss of unity now. Just talking about their day. That's one thing. Despite their whatever's going on, you see that sort of family unity, and that's what gets them through. But like Poltergeist, that was their that's what it was all about. Their family unity is what overcame in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll get this storm starts and rain because it's a horror movie. Their first guest, and they're like, "We've got a guest."
Yeah, I just love the exclamation anytime anybody comes in. It's like the whole world stands still.
Yeah, if you ever went to one of those places where everyone is so attentive, it's quite freaky. You ever go to that like store where all the staff just jump on you because you're the only customer of the day or something? And it's like, oh God, no.
Yeah. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just shopping.
I came here for stuff. Yeah. But you know this guy isn't right. I don't think we got his full story. He's just a set of circumstances, wasn't he?
No, I mean it's the full story. Dude's at the end of his rope, goes somewhere to kill himself.
Yeah, but we didn't get why, or I think
well, I mean, if you've ever lived at all, you kind of understand why.
Yeah. But the elaborate way he decides to use the key, the keychain, and
yeah, it's a hell of a way to go out. Especially when he has a box cutter that he clearly was bringing it to use.
But he decides to do this instead because reasons.
Yeah, far more traumatic. Plus, I mean, that's the initial catalyst. Like, other than the fact that somebody died in their bed and breakfast, like, this doesn't look like a suicide. This looks like a murder. How the hell are we going to explain that?
The fact that they pulled it out of his neck and they're like waving about, and then the mother takes it off and puts it back in again.
Yeah, it's great.
You're just like, all right, this is where this is going. Okay, right, get you.
Yeah.
They're not worried like, oh, what if other guests find out that this happened? They'll not come here. So let's bury the body.
Again, reasonable, and as you do.
And it starts off like we don't get the full horror of where they're living until later on. You know what I mean? Because they go and find a plot, and you see a wee bit of debris about, but you don't get the full scope until later on. But yeah, they bury the body, but what's this business of using plastic, wrapping the body in plastic and then burying it?
That's easy way to transport them.
Yeah, but you take it out of the plastic when you bury it. That's going to preserve for ages.
I mean, it could also speed up the decaying process because of the heat and stuff getting trapped in there.
I need to look into it more. My thought would be remove the body from the plastic as you dump it in the hole, plant a big tree on top of it. You start seeing these mounds about it, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things actually in a TV show was Hannibal. Mushrooms. I've never been able to look at mushrooms the same way, and I just thought, cool, that's clever.
Yeah, that's a show I really need to finish.
Yeah,
it got pulled from my area after the first season.
Good. Yeah, I could never look at mushrooms the same way. I just thought that's bloody clever. That's been thought. That's been thought out. Yeah. But also this guy, what was it? I've never seen CGI snot before.
It was miraculous, right?
I just looked at it, man. What? Really?
Yeah, but at this point, I feel like you should be accepting of that or used to that because, I mean, fuck, right before this, we get the family watching TV and that really bad CG fly going up his nose.
Oh, yeah. Then it wouldn't come out.
Yeah, it's like at that point you kind of have to accept. Well, especially the fact
I wasn't against it. It's one of those things of that's what you put your effort into.
Fuck yeah!
I'm like, okay,
that's the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was glorious. I'm just like, wow. That's a bit. There's no digital blood in this, thankfully, so you know that they're doing it almost. It's almost like a joke, you know. The joke in itself is the effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's so goofy, it's so over the top, but anytime there's any sort of makeup or blood, like it's like perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, they'll go into the Bollywood scene, sort of the first dance routine, and that's it. I'm just like, God, what the hell is this? This is something else. Oh man. Then we meet God, I forget her name, but the daughter is going into town. And we meet Robert.
Yeah. Robert. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. What can we say about him? Like, calm man. Like, you just if nobody twigs on, he's a calm man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you. Have a bridge to tell you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What is it? He's a secret agent. He
flies for the British Navy, but it's the American Navy. And he's also
No, was it not the American Air Force, but for the Royal Navy?
I don't fucking remember. Something like that. I just watched it last night, so of course you think I remember, but I don't.
Yeah.
And then he's also related to the British royal
Princess
family.
Margaret of Snowdon's son, apparently. And you're like,
yeah.
No. Which is Queen Elizabeth's younger sister, by the way, if you don't know. But yeah, if someone starts telling you all these whoppers like within the first 5 minutes, you have to go, right? Okay.
Well, and that's the funny part, is just shows how desperate the daughter is to get in another relationship.
That's not healthy.
No. That's
needing to be with someone. Just always just once you say to your daughter, do you want a new daddy? You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. That's how
that was best response too. Just continues sitting there eating her sundae.
Almost as if it's like a Tuesday to her. Oh, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's the good thing about having the extended family, you know, the core family, if that makes sense. because the daughter has her stability, and she's the narrator for this, which is interesting as well, because it's all come from her perspective, as in she's retelling this after years. But we don't really get too. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's supposed to be from her perspective, but she really is a bit character in this. She's not the main character.
Well, I mean, if it's from her perspective, that would make sense. It's almost like a POV shot where she's watching what's going on, and we're watching with her.
And maybe that would explain the. Actually, that makes sense. The claymation stuff. This is her trying to process what's going on in the song and stuff, like all the adult stuff. Never thought about it that way. So when they're getting into song and dancing, goes into stuff, this is her, you know, when they're telling her to close her eyes and stuff, and they're talking about stuff she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Or am I trying to make it more sensible than what it is, and not just appreciating it at face value?
I mean, I've never thought of it that way, and I've usually watched this like once a year.
Yeah, just thinking, because it's narrated, it's partly narrated, and it's supposed to be her, the young one, years later, telling this story of this sequence of events. But her character in this is not treated like a central focal point. No, I mean, she's just another character. Every character gets their turn, and it's just the circumstances that happen. So it's not even really a POV, because we don't get that sort of idea behind it.
True.
If trying to think, that's what, like the boy with the striped pajamas, for example, that's I would class that as a POV movie, because purely come from the kid's perspective. Trying to think of another one where it's really obvious, you know, who's telling the story. The Lovely Bones, I would consider that a POV sort of movie, because she's narrating the experience and it's coming through her sort of lens. This, I just think she just happens to be the narrator, but it's not really, you know, I don't think it would have worked if it had made it purely from the kid's perspective. Don't know, just then we'll get the sumo wrestler. That was great.
Yeah, man, that whole scene, just as soon as they start walking up the road, it's like, oh, this isn't going to end well for either of them.
Yeah,
they're just too happy.
That's always the thing, isn't it? The brighter the sun shines, the happier they are. You know it's going to crash and burn. But Masayaka is not just a delinquent, but he's a peeping Tom as well. And you're just like, what the hell, dude? Really?
I mean, fuck, what the hell else are you going to do out there?
I suppose there's that, but it's like, I don't think you've lived a sheltered life, mate. What the hell? Is this really...
Right.
If he was like 14 or something, you know, still a virgin, I would get it, but yeah. I suppose it was funny, but yeah, the fact to start going at it straight away for like 24 hours straight.
Right. Yeah. It's no wonder the dude died.
Yeah. He's so they try to wake him up for breakfast, basically, and go in the room to see him dead.
Well, the best part is like they keep hearing it.
Yeah.
And then there's a loud thud. And then that's when the cop shows up, right? Asking about guests. Or was that the next day?
No, they haven't. No, because they've already got rid of him before the cop doesn't show up. Yeah, until between them and the next one. So they're already like 3 bodies down by the time the cop shows up. So they're really, the paranoia setting in at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what they're really leaning into, you know, oh shit, this isn't good, but yeah, they find him, he's died, and they keep going, where's the girl? And I didn't think...
yeah, she must have run away.
Yeah, I didn't think. It actually caught me by surprise, the way they did it.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
And I'm just like, because you don't see a leg or arm or anything.
Nope.
I know. he's actually pressed her into the mattress. The makeup they had for her was brilliant as well. The makeup they do in this is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
that was like straight out of the ring.
Yeah,
like
pretty
her
much.
expression and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's the greatest part is like when this movie leans into the horror stuff, it is pure horror.
I think you needed that too, because that sort of balances out the comedy aspect and
Mm-hmm.
still brings the stakes that this ain't a good thing. Because if they had done it like too goofy with everything, you would kind of switch off from us. But the fact is, like I did jump a wee bit and go, whoa, when they roll them off and they find her underneath, like actually pressed into the mattress. Like how that's physically possible, I don't know, but still made you go, whoa. And then the makeup and everything else and her expression was just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're having to expand out. And this is where we're starting to see the whole back area, that it's just a junk pile and it's a swamp and it's horrible. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a toxic landfill or something.
Yeah. Which is great because we all see it, but the dumbass, Richard does not.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, because that's... He appears next, doesn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's next one to call because... yeah. He's like coming up. He decides to take a drink from the stream.
And it's just full of like dead bodies of animals and shit.
Yeah, because you wouldn't smell that at all.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't go past that and go, whoa. Like I'm surprised that doesn't even permeate up to the house. Like you would in a bad breeze. Like I used to live near when I was back in Belfast. I used to live near the River Lagan. I went to school up there. And on a sunny day, or when the wind caught the right way, I mean, the smell of that thing just took over everything. And that was a flowing river.
Mm-hmm.
So you think of an absolute cesspit. Yeah, you're going to smell that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll just slowly get more revealed the fact this is cursed land, basically. I think that's what the whole theme is.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to, it's not a good place for them to be. God. Yeah. Richard turns up and I just got the feeling he's the one who's going to get done for this. I wasn't right, but I just got the feeling, okay, this is how they're going to wrap us up in a nice little bow. Mm-hmm. Is he's going to be the one that, especially when he finds a wallet.
Yeah, right. That's kind of where it sends you.
Yeah. I was a great misdirect though, because I was like, okay, right, I know where I'm going with this. And it's all nice, neatly in a little bow. And then 2 scenes later, you're like, what? And then that's when the police officer turns up, and then we find out that Richard is an escaped convict or something, or he's wanted.
Well, that we find that out at the very beginning of the movie, like before they get a guest, when the cop first shows up, because he leaves a wanted poster.
Oh, is that not afterwards? Did I mix it up?
No, that's the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, right, God, I thought...
So the cop visits more than once.
Yeah, like, I thought it was like at this point he starts... I missed the first part, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's towards the beginning of the movie, and that's where we see the picture of, this big poster, and then it's
all the wanted people.
Richard in his uniform.
It was like a movie poster, the way it was done. It was very... Like, whoever's working in that police department's wasted.
Right.
That's what they're spending their talent on. They should be signing up for the nearest marketing agency. They're all their poses.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was after. It was sort of about this point.
No. That's very, very beginning of the movie.
Right. Yeah, because they introduce themselves and they're all like welcome and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he turns up again, this is where the paranoia is really setting up, because it's like, oh my God, yeah, they're all starting to fall apart. Because they're not they're not bad people.
No. It's just this is the dad's only chance, and he even has that breakdown at one point. I think it's after the first discovery, where he's talked about, like, if I don't have this, I don't know what else I have. So you understand, like, the desperation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the wife, Terry. God, she is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she hides it well in all the housewife gear, but when they do the dance scene in that black dress, I'm like, wow. Like, was she born 1954 or something? No hint of plastic. No. It's funny if you look after yourself, you don't need plastic surgery, eh?
Right. such a novel thing.
Yeah, but yeah, at that point she just won me over. I'm like, wow, you're absolutely stunning. Couldn't look at her the same way the rest of the movie. That was it. It was like a karaoke. It was like they're doing a karaoke bar, but taking it to the next level.
Yeah,
because I really do love the musical scenes. I know they took me by surprise, but when you get into it, oh my god, they're brilliant. They're so well choreographed,
mm-hmm.
and they put a lot of pop stars to shame. Like these guys singing as a joke would actually put a lot of professional, musicians and singers to shame because they've actually got range.
Right.
And then we see Robert again. He's sort of building up. He's working on a scam. But it shows how thick the daughter is because he's going about with his cruise jacket, because that's what it's more like a flipping cabin cruise crew jacket, and I think with tracksuit bottoms. And you're like, really?
Yeah, the next day, yeah.
And you're just sort of like, yeah. They must have run out.
Well, I mean, he had to wear those instead. Like, he destroyed his pants the night before.
Yeah, but they must have run out of spare clothes because they were able to offer spare clothes to the first guest who got soaked. But if this is the love of her life, they can't offer him a spare shirt or something. I suppose it wouldn't work with the character, if that makes sense, but still funny. But yeah, of course, he's working up for the scam. The old, can you lend me the airfare till I go back and pick up my millions and bring them back to you?
Yeah,
that's a funny thing as well. Anyone who understands the royal family is they're not actually rich. Everything they have is on loan. They don't actually own anything. It's all owned by the crown, the entity of the crown. But their actual personal fortune, they don't really have. Like, there's celebrities running about more with actual, spendable income. If you look at all their fashion, everything else inside, it's all done on loan. Like the, what do you call it? The fashion brands and stuff will have them wear something for an occasion, but that's so they can promote their brand. It's all strange. I think what's her face, that silly bitch, found out very quickly that the ginger one didn't have actually any money. It's fun, but yeah, I don't understand people like him. I know he's a comedy character in this, but they do exist. And we've probably met one or two of them along the way in our lives.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has.
And they don't have any shame whatsoever. Like, that part of their brain it doesn't work. It's not engaging. And he will do that to her and literally bounce on to the next one or work on someone at the same time and not even think twice. I've always been fascinated. Because I don't know. I couldn't do that. I'd feel bad.
Yeah, same.
I'd feel worthless. I'd rather have nothing. It's not that important to me to be that sort of person. I just don't get. It's like an alien creature, if that makes sense. That Robert character, it's like an alien. It's like I don't see another human being. I see some strange entity that I don't understand and will never understand. Just weird. But when Grandpa was watching and finds out what he does, that whole scene with the clock away and the bonk sound.
Yeah. I love how just
It had to
proficient
be
he is
that.
with that wood.
It had to make that sound. If it had to make anything else, it wouldn't have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sound was perfect. Just
Definitely.
bonk through it on his head, bonk straight off. And then it goes into a claymation again for the cliff scene. Like all of a sudden, there's now a cliff. Like where'd that come from?
Oh well, I mean, it's been there the whole time. It's just you didn't turn around and look at it. Duh.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I love that shit where they're starting to fight and then you realize it's gonna get real, so it turns into claymation. This is so good.
Yeah. And this, I can't speak highly enough as enough. It's done so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's proper. Somebody's put care and craftsmanship into it and actually want it to be as good as possible. That it's as engaging as a live action.
Oh yeah.
That's when you know you're dealing with a serious entity. I think there's sometimes more effort put into silly movies than the ones that try to take themselves, to be like dramas.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like good comedy, like there's nothing worse than bad comedy or lazy comedy that doesn't, relies on just crudeness for the sake of it and stuff, and just doesn't work. It's just you just feel like nobody gives a shit. But something like this, that's somebody spent hours, days, for that one scene to make it right.
Yeah.
Then we'll have this family turn up, and it's like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that shit was just so funny because everybody's on edge. Like everybody's like, "Oh my god, what kind of shit?"
We're seeing the breakdown of the family as well. It's going along with it, and it's done so perfectly. The pace in this is brilliant. I guess is what is it, like nearly 2 hours long?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's 1 hour 50 or something. Like it's nearly 2 hours long. It's but you're not feeling tired. That's one of them things. That, some movies you're like, oh come on, we get to the point already. This is just on the journey. But yeah, this family turns out in the wee girl's playing the recorder, the most awful, horrible instrument. I don't know if you ever had to play one of them at school.
Yeah. It's rare that you can make those actually sound good.
They're horrendous. Yeah, and they're just like the coming of the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. When I love when they're finally going up to the room and the wife turns around and she's like, "Do you have any cord? I need some heavy cord." And immediately the family's like, "Cord?" Like they'll do the same thing. Like they're, getting choked out. It's just like the whole time you're like, "Fuck, this is going to be a gnarly cleanup they have to make."
Yeah, but they survive, and the cords for the wee kids' trousers.
Well, that's the funny thing is how we find out that they survive, because the grandpa and
Richard.
No, not Richard. No. So we're already past the Richard or the Richard point. So like basically they were preemptively digging up the holes to put the entire family in because everybody was under the impression they were going to die.
Yeah.
And then they finally finish, they get out of the hole and they just hear recorder music coming from afar. So like they're both freaking out thinking that it's like a ghost or some shit that they're bringing the bodies down. And then no, it's just the family. They're like, "Oh, thank you." And then it's revealed that the wife wanted the heavy cord because the boy needed a belt.
Yeah, and what's the big hole for? Oh, nothing. And then we get the news that the highway that's coming is going to go right through where all the bodies are built. And now they're going to have to dig up the bodies and move them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh, it just descends into chaos. What I was not expecting is how this all got wrapped up.
Mm-hmm. It is a very abrupt ending.
Yeah, it's like we're just on our guess. I thought Richard was going to be the linchpin that tied all this up. But no, we just get some other random guest that killed his wife and now working 3 guest houses apparently on a rampage. And you're like, okay, right, that's where we're going.
Yeah, and it gets super serious too. Like pretty much all the humor that's been a constant throughout this is just out the window.
Yeah, because that's where Papa and this, he basically takes her hostage,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, he just breaks down, like, no, anything but that. I don't care about anything. Don't harm my wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I think he said, please, I beg you, about 9 times or something. Like it was. You sort of left the comedy bit, and then you started to realize it was getting serious about the 7th or 8th time. It was proper going for it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's just so random. Like the turn this took.
Mm-hmm.
You're just thinking, why? I don't know. It's just I got it though. I got the whole idea of the important thing is the family. I mean, they all realize, and then when Sophia gets stabbed, oh god, and they're having like his deathbed scene.
Yeah, that so fucking great. Like you feel the emotion, and then that's when the comedy comes back. Is he pulls up the shirt after he's supposedly passed, and it's this big. They're all doing this to him, and it's just like he got grazed.
It's a paper cut.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And then you're kind of sort of going, right, how are they going to finish this up? Right, what's next? Right, is that it? This guy gets. Are they going to blame him in the bodies? Is that how they're going to wrap it up?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they just happen to be right next to a volcano.
Well, that got set up at the very beginning of the movie too. Mm-hmm. That is something where it was when Grandpa was out in the field, right after I believe it was right after he threw that piece of wood at the bird, where it kind of pans out and you see the top of the mountains, and then some smoke go up.
Yeah, just a sort of blinking you miss it sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still, the fact that it just becomes an active volcano for no reason.
I mean, that's to throw it in usually how it goes.
Yeah. But it's just the way they wrap this up, just to completely go off, just any expectations you have for this movie is like goes out the window.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's when the message of the movie is really hammered home that family is everything, because they all join together to rescue the house.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to claymation. I thought it was lava. I didn't really. It's only until it goes back I thought they were doing claymation because it was lava, and I was expecting like people to be burnt to a crisp, but it was actually a massive mudslide.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought it was going to do was move the guest house right next to the road.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be the finish. Then it was going to move the guest house right next to the road, so they don't need to worry about the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're away from the bodies, and that's nothing to do with them. It's all buried now. But no, they're in some sort of valley, and we've got elephants and giraffes and rainbows, and
yeah,
even further away from civilization.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's a magical place to look at. So
yeah,
business is gonna fucking suck, but it's a beautiful place to spend the rest of the time with your family.
No, I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more, I think it's one of these movies you experience rather than worry about the plot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's definitely there, but yeah.
It follows a logical, you know what I mean? It's not like, even with, it's following a logical, coming up to a conclusion. It's just when they bring it, they just throw these things in. But I think it's the musical numbers, the claymation, the acting, you're more there just the experience. I think I said it to you last night. I could imagine this as a stage show, and it turns out it's a remake from a stage show.
Yep. That was news to me. And then, of course, as soon as I saw that, it's like, well, fuck, that makes perfect sense. Because, yeah, like you said, it looks like it could be a stage show.
Mm-hmm. You could picture them being set pieces of a stage, and the way they've done everything.
Yeah.
Why not? Perhaps, and then of course Grandpa decides to die.
Mm-hmm.
He decides it's his time. Or no, this is where it gets a bit Warley. This is supposed to be a year later or something, or a couple of years, because we'll go back to the wee girl as a narrator who says grandpa has time to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But she was sort of hinting that it was a few years later or something after this is all done. But the way they show it is if it just happens immediately. But yeah, grandpa deciding to finally pop his clothes and just to find a job. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Now I'll have to look into more Takashi Miike stuff.
Yeah, man. Takashi Miike is fucking amazing. Like I said, next one I'd recommend would be Ichi the Killer. Like that's that one is a solid gore fest.
Yeah. Is it the same sort of vein? Is his thing?
No. Not even remotely. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like with him, I mean, this dude basically makes like 7 or 8 movies a month. Like he covers all different ranges of the genre.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. It's sort of like J-Horror's version of Jackie Chan now.
Sure.
Oh yeah, he films like 3 movies at once at the same time. He's
gotcha.
Shooting. Yeah, he does. He just he's always like, even when he was what was it? If he's doing one of his Hollywood things, he's still flying back to Hong Kong because he's got 2 other projects on the go at the same time. Just doesn't stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just that level of production. Some people are like that and they can do it, or I'm slow as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me ages just to pen a few words. I'm like, there you go. That was fun. Good job.
Yep. Yeah, definitely fun to go through that list. We'll have to revisit that list again.
We'll have to throw them in because we've sort of been missing out in remakes, haven't we?
What's that?
We've been missing out in remakes.
Oh yeah. I mean, other than Nosferatu, it's about the only thing I can think of as of late.
Yeah, unfortunately, just because of timing.
Mm-hmm.
I was not waiting to now to talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. That was a very.
If I had known you guys were going to stream that night, I would have joined in as well.
Yeah, didn't quite think about that.
Twig. But there you go, folks. That's it for another month. Until next time, keep up the channel, do the technical things, and remember to keep it creepy.
Keep it horrific.